What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the shop, or if this is your first time here and you want to catch up, you can find part 1 of this video right here. Otherwise, let's get started. After a little bit of tinkering around, I got the bandsaw working again. Because I didn't anneal this, because it was too big to put in the heat treat oven overnight, it's incredibly hard, and that's got the bandsaw moving at a snail's pace. So we're going to go ahead and just sacrifice some material and cut it on the chop saw. After cleaning up the pieces, leaves me with this stack here, which you'll notice there's actually 7 pieces instead of 6. That's just because I made 2 marks with the layout fluid and cut it in the wrong spot right off the bat. But turns out it's going to be a happy accident. A friend of mine who's an extraordinary knife maker, Bruce Bump, was showing me some samples of his different ladders, and he kind of got around to saying that he thought maybe 400 was too much as far as layers go. So I think we're going to shoot for about 250. The new plan is to draw this out to about 12 inches or a little bit more, because there'll be a little bit of waste, and then cut that in half. Those 2 stacked together will give me 64 layers. The 4 here will be drawn out to about 18 inches or a little more, cut into thirds. Then that should give me 192 layers, and then those will be combined to bring up a layer total of 256 layers. The last step before getting these in the fire is tack welding them together, cleaning them up with some acetone, and welding the handles on. So let's get to it. Alright, right into the kerosene. Just gonna let those bad boys soak. Forge is up to temperature, we're getting out of the kerosene into the fire. Metal's up to temperature, let's do it. I'm doing the baby squeeze on just a shorter block, just way easier to line it up. Don't change the plans. I decided to just make the sections of each one 4 inches, so I'm just going to go 8 by 12 because the 18 with the handle won't fit into the heat treat oven, plus it's just a little less work that I've got to do. Alright, it's the next day. Let's see what we have. Just a smaller one, a little bit of scale on there, and the bigger. Let's go grind them. Take it to the bandsaw. Got our steel all cleaned up here. We're gonna see how much it weighs. We're gonna keep it scientific by using the bathroom scale. I don't think that's right. Hey, will it just pick it up? No, it won't just pick it up. 210.8 with the steel, 204.4 without the steel. So that's like a 2.6 pound loss in this, going from 9 pounds to 6.4 pounds, which is about 29%, which is more than I would have hoped for with the flux, although we did have 2 separate billets, so maybe it would be about 15%, but I don't really like cleaning out the flux, so I think we're gonna skip that. The next step for this is to clean it up and all that. You guys have already seen that. First, I'd like to kind of just take a look at one of the ends and see what we have. Now you can see all the layers, and most of what we have ground out were some thick layers that were remaining here that kind of just got squashed in, and a lot of this swelling near the edge, so not necessarily terrible. I think I need a better way to brush things out, like a bit more aggressive. I can put some more oomph into it. So the plan is to take these 2 brushes here, pull the handles off, and then mount them to this piece of angle iron, and then mount that to the hydraulic stand. Got the brushinator all suited up. Forge is up to temperature. Let's put it in the fire. Final weld, let's do it. Got it down to 3/4 by 2 inch by whatever. Barely fits in the oven, so it's a good approximate. It's the following weekend. We've got the steel annealed right here. It's still got scale on it. To clean this up, I've got some new wheels that I'm gonna try out. These are made by Flexovit, not a sponsor. Really coarse, I think it's like a 16 grit or something like that, so let's try it out. All right, the Flexovit's sweet. We got this all cleaned up. We're gonna cut one end off and etch it, see what we got going on, and then I'm gonna cut another chunk on depending on what I see in that section, and we're gonna draw that out for the ladder. Here's our end cut. We're gonna dip that in the ferric chloride. Kind of hard to pick up on camera. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Now that we know what we're dealing with, the bar's all cleaned up, we're gonna go ahead and take about 3 inches of this, maybe just a tiny bit more, section that off. There we go. Now that we have this, we're gonna weld a handle on it and draw it out to 1 inch by 3/8, which should quadruple the length of this piece. In we go. All right, we've got the length drawn out and the depth, so we're just gonna square it up and put it in the kiln. Seems like my calculations are pretty close. We're sitting at about 12 inches. It's the next morning. Here we've got the final bar. We're gonna go ahead and clean the scale off. Got most of the scale off. Since we're so thin, I don't really want to go too more with the Flexovit. One little gash kind of makes it so we got to go way deeper and kind of just ruins things for us. We're going to clean it up on the 2x72. Got everything pretty close. There's still some little striations and stuff in there. We're going to take those out on the surface grinder, get everything nice and perfect. Got the bar all squared up and surface ground, so it's time to put some layout fluid on it. Now that the layout is done, the plan is to take one of these tile bits right here and plunge it in around each one of these X's to make nice little rings at an 1/8 inch depth. I use a 1/16 inch drill bit to make sure that the center line is true. Got our dial zeroed out here. So that 0 is the same as this bit touching the piece. For cut rate, I'm plunging about 3/1000ths of an inch every 10 seconds or so. Once this dial reaches 0, 0 again, that means we've gone 1/10 of an inch. Then we need to go 1 and 2.5 past that to reach 125 thousandths, which is 1/8 of an inch. There is our first ring. 23 more to go. Got all of our rings cut in. Now we're going to go back through with a 3/16 drill bit in the center and plunge an 1/8 inch in the center of each one of those. There we go. That's the last hole. A couple of them are a little tiny bit off center, but I'm gonna do some blurring to sort of get rid of all the sharp edges around things, and I think that will sort of, kind of even things out. Plus, the hydraulic press is gonna put in some work on these anyway. Now for the last bit of removal, I'm gonna go through and cut in a little wolf's tooth out the side of each of the rings. You can see that these are on opposite centers from side to side, approximately. Try to do it the best I could. We're gonna do that on the small wheel. All right, got everything milled out. We're gonna go ahead and just knock down all the high edges from the drilling and the grinding with the wire wheel, and we'll throw it in the fire. In you go. Everything's up to temperature. Just gotta make sure that I draw it from the base basically back. I think otherwise it's gonna mess it up. Just a hunch. Don't really know. It's ready to go. Got the 3/16 kiss blocks. Just try to be as quick as I can. So the heat definitely comes out a lot faster in these thin pieces. I guess it's going to take a few. I thought I might get it in one, but it's like a few heats. Alright, pretty much ready. We're just going to throw the long dies on and square it up. Scale, not too bad. Let's put it in the kiln. It's the next morning. Let's see what we have. These solid bars, a good bit of scale. We're gonna see if we can just peel that off on the surface grinder. All right, it's nice and clean. Let's see what we got here. About 5/32 in thickness. I'm gonna go ahead and dip it in the etchant and see what we got. But before that, I just want to take a moment to thank you. If you're at this part of the video, that means you've stuck along, and I pretty much just make these for my own amusement, and if I can make them for your amusement, that's pretty cool. Let's go dip it. Got this fancy little rig here set up to dip it in there. Super excited to see it. Leave it in there for a couple minutes. It's been about 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Let's pull it out. To neutralize the acid with some glass cleaner here. Wiper clean. Came out awesome. Beautiful. I think I could have went a little deeper with the wolf's teeth on the side, but I think it came out great. Sort of looks like eyeballs, so that's what I think I'm going to call it, eyeball Damascus. There it is, guys. Join me for part 3. I'm going to cut this in half and make a couple knives out of it. I'll put that right up here, and subscribe to see the notification when that comes through. I'll see you guys there.